If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
When did you first encounter a spirit?
It would have been about 12 years ago now. It never felt scary. It felt comforting, if anything.
And even when you were in this all happened sort of in the spare bedroom. That was where it was, at its most powerful. That you would take it to the next level, and you dressed in a very sexy negligee, and you went into the spare bedroom and turned the lights off and waited.
Just as I'd given up hope and was starting to fall asleep, it came to me. And what happened? I don't know what I can say on TV.
You had sex?
Yeah, I had sex with the ghost.
With a ghost?
I can't even believe I'm going to ask you this, but I have to.
What?
You had sex with a ghost?
A ghost, yeah.
Come on, man. Tell me about it.
I moved into this house. I bought this mansion in Georgia. But yes, one time I woke up and, a ghost. I was being mounted by a ghost.
I do that. You said, I have to ask you this, you're running out of time, that you've slept with a ghost. I have to ask you, have you slept with a ghost?
I did go to the bone zone with a ghost. No, I don't know his name, but he was in my house.
You don't know his name?
Well, he's a ghost, and so he just started, caressing me like this.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Well, you asked what could be next, and it makes perfect sense. YouTuber K Smalls passed those video clips along to me, and my first reaction was, you gotta be kidding me. But then after thinking about it for a little bit, I realized that there's been a lot of predictive programming in regards to people having relationships with ghosts, which in other words is people pretty much inviting demons into their home, becoming demonically possessed. This is stuff that we're actually going to see go on in this world, which is insane to think about. But it really already does go on. Because when you think about what these Satanists and occultists do, they summon these spirits, they allow these spirits to possess their bodies. And that's what they're really setting people up for. Not sexual experiences with these demons, which I'm sure they still have, but is getting people prepared to try these types of things, to invoke these spirits so that they can have these encounters. If you remember Ghostbusters, there's a scene with Dan Aykroyd where, he's having a dream about sleeping with a ghost. Obviously, the movie Ghost, everybody remembers, with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, right? Where, the whatever he was, the husband or the boyfriend dies and comes back as a ghost. And these are all seed planting things that they've done. And believe it or not, in researching this, there's actually a cult kind of novel thing going on here where there's romantic books about people dating ghosts. I kid you not. People read this stuff, The Ghost Next Door, Ghost Romance, Phantom Pleasures. I mean, you gotta be, you gotta have some extra creepy stuff going on in your life if you're reading these books. But obviously we know what this is all about, why they write these books, why they put these seeds in movies. This is about what's to come next. With the invoking and the inviting of spirits into homes, which people already do subliminally, whether they know it or not, if they realize it or not, when they're playing games like the Ouija board, they're inviting spirits into their house, they're invoking spirits. And if it's not weird enough for you, this is actually becoming a fetish. The woman who spoke in the beginning of the video has actually been, she goes deeper into detail, but she's actually left her fiance. She's now in relationships exclusively with ghosts, right? The woman has ditched men completely to have sex with ghosts. And she's currently having sex with a 19th century man. Whew. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Women in the UK are ditching their male lovers in favor of ghosts. In the past few days, not one but two women have come out to share their experiences of paranormal passion. A woman claims she had amazing sex with the ghost of a 19th century man. I just, and the reason I'm laughing is I do believe that this is possible and true, because I do believe what they're really referencing is demonic possession and summoning of these spirits. But how does she know it's a 19th century man, right? Like, and why is she invoking? And I mean, just really bizarre stuff. The 19th century man. I mean, what did he have? Like a top hat and a pipe in his mouth. It was probably some type of Freemason. The 19th century man, while another says she left her fiance for a string of ectoplasmic encounters. Yes, apparently this is a term. Ectoplasmic encounters. This isn't the plot to Ghostbusters 2. Amethyst Realm, the person's name is, so her last name is Realm, which, I mean, it could, obviously these could be plant stories, but this is really to plant seeds in people. They want people doing this type of stuff. They want people who are like, look how desperate the world is getting. People, like, nobody seems to be able to date anymore or find anyone anymore, from everything that I see, because they create this illusion with all these TV shows that, you're not with the right person, or you can do better than that, or how do you find your perfect match? And they want all these analytics to be used, right? Like, oh, do you like coffee? I like coffee. Great. Maybe we're a perfect match. You like this football team? I like this football. Maybe we're, that's what these sites do. They just use analytics and stuff. And it's nothing to do with compatibility or any of this stuff. They just pretty much are setting people up for failure in relationships. Then they can push stuff like this where they're like, you don't need, this is what I was saying with artificial intelligence, right? You can create your own perfect robot to date, or you don't even have to have a robot. You could just invoke spirits for sexual encounters. So you could just invoke them by doing black magic or whatever spells need to be done, which is exactly what this opens people up to, right? Oh, how do I do it? How do I bring, they read these articles and hear these people talk and they go, oh, that sounds like, sexy, because they make it sexy in movies and books and stuff like that. And they go, how do I do it? And they're like, well, you just perform these rituals here. You get candles, you draw a pentagram in the ground, you invite this demon in, and they don't know what in the world they're even doing, they should. And then they're invoking these spirits, bringing them into their lives, and allowing themselves to become demonically possessed. So the 27-year-old spiritual guidance counselor from Bristol said she will never go back to men because spirits have left her more satisfied. So this is a spiritual guidance counselor. Could you think of a more ironic job for this person to have? I mean, a spiritual guidance counselor. Yeah, hi, I'm coming to you for spiritual guidance. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself since you're the guidance counselor? Well, I have sex with ghosts. Oh, great start. Okay. Actually, I was thinking about more coming to you for spiritual guidance as far as, interpreting scripture or, people. I mean, spiritual guidance counselor. You can't make it up. This woman claims that she had sex or sexual encounters with 20 different ghosts since leaving her fiance for 10 years ago. So are these committed relationships? I mean, do they, like, people are going to read this stuff and they're just going to be like, why are you making fun? Like, what's the big deal? Let her be happy. Like, really, they're talking about demonic possession here. She said we're having relationships with ghosts. A 19th century man. I mean, she now hopes to find a ghostly lover to settle down with. That's her hopes. I mean, and again, folks, we got white padded rooms out there. Don't want to use them up there, right? It says this, during a bizarre appearance on that show, the clip I showed you earlier in the video, she described what it was like to have sex with a ghost and how she would entice paranormal beings into her home by wearing lingerie. I don't think that's exactly how, especially, from the looks of this lady, you're going to entice a ghost into your home. But by performing black magic and spells and all that kind of crap, you can invite spirits into your home. But I don't know. I would think if this woman was putting lingerie on, ghosts and humans would be running as far away as possible. So she said it started off as energy, and she said, I guess as I got used to it, it became more physical, and I started to feel pressure on my thighs, on my arms, as well as breath on the back of my neck. It always felt safe. Ugh. I mean, this is just creepy, disturbing stuff. Her fiance, who worked away from home for weeks at a time, discovered she was cheating when the ghost apparently showed its physical form to him, something which she herself had never seen. He came home from a day of work one day earlier, I guess, than planned. And he says he saw the shape of a man through the spare room bedroom when he pulled up. I think it was in love with me too, and it wanted me to end the relationship. A stunt, okay. A stunt. Okay, see, I laugh because there's a fine line between lunacy and, demonic possession. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. But a stunned Philip and Holly wondered how the spiritual guidance counselor could tell her ghostly lovers apart. You can always feel the difference, she said. It's the same with different humans. They have different energies. I have no interest in men now. I have done a bit of research into phantom pregnancies. And there are possibilities where you could have the ghost of a child within you, but people don't know how to carry it on to full term. Where'd you do the researching? On The Onion? Whew. Meanwhile, a woman in a remote Welsh cottage claimed she had amazing sex with a ghost. She said she had sex with a handsome man she spotted in a historic painting. She had moved into a fully furnished 16th century house after breaking up with her boyfriend of 3 years. Oh, man. She left London saying that everywhere I went reminded me of my ex. I needed a fresh start. Then she began having erotic dreams. A few months after I'd moved in, I woke early one morning to find a dark-haired, very good-looking young man lying next to me. He was fully clothed in a loose white shirt, a neck scarf, and old-fashioned breeches. This guy's wearing a scarf. Jeez, I guess even the ghosts aren't real men. He had a kind of shimmer to him, as if he was behind a fluttering voile curtain. And exactly, that's the veil. I told myself I was dreaming and rolled away from him. As I faced the wall, I slowly realized I wasn't asleep, and suddenly I was frozen with fear. I felt a hand on my waist, but the touch was strange, light, and cool. She said she knew instinctively that he was a ghost, and that she recognized him as the man in the painting. We started to make love. He was very gentle and stroked my body. During the lovemaking, I sensed all kinds of things about him. His name was Robert, and he lived over 100 years ago. Oh, boy. We didn't speak. Yeah, I wonder why he didn't speak. It was as if he was communicating with me telepathically. His body was soft and light. Even when he moved on top of me, pressing down, he felt almost weightless. It was very strange, but the sex was amazing. I was totally perplexed about what had happened. In fact, I started to wonder whether it had happened at all. In the end, I told myself it was a very wild, vivid dream and put it in the back of my mind. And I can't believe this article is continuing on at this point. She said they made love again in the morning, and then he got dressed and left the room. I was expecting to hear his footsteps on the wooden stairs, but there was no sound. I watched him through the open bedroom door and saw him kind of fade as he approached the top of the stairs. She got up and followed, but Robert was gone. He appeared one more time after that. It was a nighttime, and I was just drifting to sleep. All of a sudden, her clothes slid off of her, and she could feel a cool hand running up her thigh under her shirt. I mean, boy, oh boy. What experts say. Psychotherapists say although the experience of making love with a ghost felt very real to them, the specter sex always happened either early in the morning or late at night while she was just waking up or nodding off. It's well known that particular types of hallucination occur during the transition from wakefulness to sleep, or from sleep to wakefulness. Stress, anxiety, depression, and trauma can make people prone to this form of hallucination. Well, yes, so could trauma-based mind control. But in a sense, really, like I'm saying, what they're trying to do here is really prepare people for this stuff. And have people want to invoke spirits and do that sort of thing. You know, and that's why there's been seed planting through all these romance novels and Ghostbusters, the scenes with the, sexual encounters with ghosts. Even when Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver's character, she's possessed, there's still sexual, innuendos, and he's, interested in her, just bizarre kind of stuff. And same with ghosts. So this is the world we're living in, folks, in 2018. The veil's being lifted. I mean, we still have a lot of white padded rooms. I'm not saying that these people, are making any of these stories up. Maybe they are. I mean, I fully believe in demonic possession. I believe they can invoke these spirits and do these things. But I believe that these are obviously just ways, listen, we got people who are dating trees. I mean, how many videos have I done on people and what the things they're dating and doing? A woman who was married to a chandelier I covered on my other channel. So, it's just going to get more bizarre and more bizarre, the stuff that we hear. But there's actually an agenda behind stuff like this, because this is an invitation for people to try magic, to conjure up spirits so they could try this and be like, oh, it's so cool, because the movies and everything have made it seem kind of like, oh, that would be a hot experience, dude. I'll try that, Sick world we live in, folks. Welcome to 2018. The horror continues. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.